Good evening. Tonight, I'm going to start with the announcements that we do every night. And then we are going to have Damon come on, and he is going to give us a report that we asked him to keep us updated on some missing people that went missing, I believe, 2 or 3 days ago. But he said that he would be on tonight, and he will give us an update. And it's very important that everyone who is a regular or has viewed this channel should listen in tonight. Um, but that really depends on Damon if we can get in contact with him, because I did send him an invite. Um, so we're going to wait for him, but I'm going to do the announcements first, and then we'll get to that. Um, Today is September the 11th, and the announcements are that I'm still in Facebook jail, but I have two Facebook group pages, and we will be live streaming here also. But also, it'll be linked to Facebook as soon as I'm out of that Facebook jail thing. And one of the groups that I'll be streaming to is the Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch in parentheses antlers and surrounding areas. The next one is Choctaw Missing and Murdered Woman, WOMBMAN, and Son Center and Database. I'll be linking to those also, but more with the Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch. Link to this one because now we're using this as a Bigfoot channel because at first this channel was put together for a group who we were going to a ceremony for the Comanche River, which is at the headwaters, which is at the top of a place called the Skyline, which, if you know Skyline, that means that's the very top. And then we had to go down, a little ways to the waters for the tobacco in that area. And but we're going to be sending the links to both of those. So go to those. I can add you, but I can't post or anything like that. But I can message after that, and I can send these links out also. Also, Katie, if you come here also, I still haven't had a chance to do that yet, but I will get to that. Okay, the museum. It's CHUHTAY, but it sounds like Chu Tay. That museum is going to be opening up in Tallahassee, Oklahoma, and that is called the Chute Ranch Project, a Bigfoot experience. And we are also working on getting some photos and videos for people and put up to the most recent of the Bigfoot sightings and videos and thermals and things like that, which that just happened last weekend. So that's the latest and the newest or the freshest Bigfoot information, and that did happen in Tallahassee, Oklahoma, and in just on the Oklahoma Arkansas border area, and that was a trap area also. So the museum is on 202nd Street, Tallahassee, Oklahoma. Once you get to the middle of Tallahassee and you turn on 271, which goes up to the high school, there's a Mexican restaurant there. But the Chute Ranch Project Museum is like the second building on the right. It's actually the first building, but you'll see that one that looks like one. Next thing is we have an outing being planned, and a few of you are on standby for the camp. A couple of y'all are also on standby. One person's not here tonight, but she already had prior arrangements. So she won't be here tonight, but she is on standby also for this next camp. As soon as we can get the locations worked out, where we're going to stay, what the cost will be, who's all going, and what kind of equipment we have. Okay, so the next thing that we have is what we were supposed to be doing today. So let me message Damon because he is supposed to be here giving us an update right now. And I'm sure he's just. Um, oh, and Malcolm just sent a message um, that he's not going to be able to make it on tonight. And Malcolm has some information too about the same missing persons case. Oh, there's Damon. All right. Okay. So here we go. Everything is working out the way it's supposed to work out. So I'd like to introduce Damon for everyone who doesn't or hasn't been really keeping up with this channel. But Damon is a part of the team, uh, wizard at electronics and feeling and things. You know, he has his own gifts, and he can spot these things pretty rapidly, and he's proved that. And there's Damon. He says hi, everyone. I know Faith Walker won't be here tonight. She said that she wouldn't be. I think she's on the road or something like that. And Malcolm also said that he won't be able to make it in tonight, also. But I'm gonna get Damon on here. Everybody knows Damon. Welcome, Damon. Um, how you doing, Damon?
Doing good.
Hey, good. I can hear you really well. That's awesome. Um, we did our announcements and everything for tonight, and I was going to ask you to give us an update on that missing uh, people's case that you had mentioned.
Well,
Um, well,
the gentleman that they found, they found his right arm that was torn off, and his entire body was drained of blood through the opening of the arm. And they said that it was a unknown, you know, it was
um,
a, his death was from an unknown cause,
oh yeah,
which I know better because the way that it was pulled, his arm was pulled off was uh, the muscle and tissue was actually it was like it was dislocated, and then the muscle and tissue was taken. If it was a bear or a wolf, there would be impressionable chew marks, teeth marks, where that was ripping at the flesh to get to the muscle and bone. No, the shoulder cup, everything was ripped right out of the socket, and he was pretty much, after his arm was taken off, he was pretty much bled out that way. They did find a female. She's being treated for trauma, and said that she was very hysterical, and she was almost 2 miles from her last destination. And so that kind of really, you know, kind of threw me off, kind of threw a few other people off. Uh, you know, me and a couple other people, we were on, you know, we were in kind of like four wheelers. They were like kind of like what they call the yard mule. It's more of a kind of like a golf cart with a gas engine, and we were using those because it with that terrain out there, you need something that's full wheel drive, and so we use that, and they listened to me and really paid attention, showed them the tracks, showed them the you know where they were going, even crossing the road, and going up into higher country. And so now they're talking about the little nature trail that they've got there. They're talking about actually closing it down and closing it off because this makes 6 people this year that's come up missing. And so that's one thing that they had said is that they're not going to uh, keep that open because it it's been really sketchy. They've had groups of people go in and pretty much got the fire scared out of them. And so that now that they were talking about that they're going to be putting up more cameras in that area to try to get more evidence of what's going on. And uh, I told them that I would like to be more involved with the people that are missing. They've got my information now, and they said that they wanted to see about if I could even provide training for some of the rescue party around here. They tell me that I showed them way more than they've ever been trained for. And I told them, with me having background in law enforcement and things like this, it pays off. I said, because what I've learned, the law enforcement and surrounding counties, they don't train that way. And I was even I've even know how to train dogs and things like that, and doing doing the search and rescue. And so that's what I want to be able to do is get something going. Even though that I'm up here in the northeastern Oklahoma, I still want to be able to do things like this so we can get people safe. I look at it, the more we can save a person's life, the more people we can save, the more that we can get this knowledge out, the better it's going to become for everybody. Because what we know, locals don't know that. They don't know what to look for. They're like, oh, go out here and start yelling their name and and shine a flashlight. That's not finding somebody. If they're hurt, unconscious, you're not going to hear them. What that's why that's why when people sit there and start yelling and hollering, that's giving location to these predators. That's giving location saying, "Oh, hey, look, I'm free fresh meat. Come get me." And they're not looking at listen, because the forest, mountains, they'll tell you, "Hey, there's somebody over here that doesn't belong. That hey, there's an oddity over here that doesn't belong. There's a hurt person over here." Birds will tell you. Animals will tell you. Animals will go up and look and sniff and see the person's hurt, and then they'll react to when they see you. They react not normal, and then wherever that animal was at is where you need to follow. Go to where the animal was at and say, okay, why was this animal here? You know, not acting right, shaking its head. Trying to getting my attention to come this way. That's what the forest and that's what the forest and the woods will do. When a a human's out there and they're not supposed to be there, they'll you know they'll tell you, hey, look over here. There's you know there's something over here that's not right. Come over here. Come look at it. Come find it. Get it out of here. We don't want it. And I know you probably have noticed the same thing when you've been out on searches. Because the that to them it's an abnormal thing, and they want that person out of there. Animals can sense when a person's either sick or hurt, and they will act funny to get other people's attention to come find them. Have you ever had that happen to you, Jerry?
Hmm. Oh yeah, I train people how to use the bird language and sequences
Yeah.
and things like that. Yeah, I'm always listening to.
I've had birds, even birds sit there and be slapping on like branches, and then go to where that bird was slapping on a branch, and not even 5 feet, there was a person laying there unconscious that was slowly bleeding out because they had a broke leg.
Mm. Chelsea, on here, Chelsea, no, Cheshire, Cheshire Mercury. Um, she said dead silence usually, but I don't know if you know. I'm just gonna say Mercury because I don't want to mess that first part up.
Right.
But I don't know if she knows that Bigfoots use that symphony, I guess you would say, of the forest to lull you. And when it goes dead silent, at sometimes those are just all Bigfoots that went silent at one time. That's also to cause fear and things like that. But I don't know if
Yeah.
she knows that. It looks like a new name. That's why I was just asking. And
Well,
Joe, go ahead.
because see, not only that, but a lot of times when you hear things go silent, that's giving you, that's that kind of an eerie violin going off in your head. It's like, okay, what's the bad thing that's going to happen next?
Hmm. And Joe Stewart says, birds always chatter.
Yes.
Yeah, and you also gotta listen for the amount of birds. Um, if you've only got one bird out there and one bird over here, those are Bigfoots talking to each other. Make sure you see that locust. Make sure you see that bird. Make sure you see that frog. Because if you don't and you still hear them, those aren't birds.
No.
Um, and Ladybug also says that she watches Wild Earth aka safari, live on a regular basis. The squirrels and birds give alarms to warn of predators all the time. And Joe says
Yeah.
true.
Yes.
Yeah, in our the tracker school camp, we teach how not to set off the birds. How to let everything settle back down the way it's supposed to be. We don't cause that disturbance, and uh, but yeah, squirrels will set off an alarm. Birds will, well, anything really will, even locusts, things like that. Um, uh, I wrote down a couple of questions. You said that the right shoulder was ripped out and drained of blood, and that happened at Keystone, right? Is that in Tulsa or is that?
No, that's past Sand Springs
Oh,
on
okay, okay,
244. That's out there by the Keystone Dam.
okay.
There's a nature, kind of like a nature walk that's on that kind of goes around the Keystone, and that's part of the it's part of the it ties into the Arkansas River.
Hmm.
And so they have a some campgrounds out there. They have some RVs that people stay out there. And he was like almost a mile and a half past the actual um, nature trail, the little nature hike that was there. And
The man
yeah,
was
yeah, his face was,
okay.
they really wouldn't say, but when you're talking about somebody's face, their body being drained of blood, all your tissue in your face, your arms, your body sink in. It's almost like you being mummified, because because with your blood pulsing through your body, it's pushing this tissue out. It's keeping this tissue relaxed. Well, if there's nothing behind it, it's going to sink in. It's almost like, you know it, it's almost like taking and putting your hand down in sand and watching all the sand around where you pull your hand back out fall in. That's the exact same way that they explained. All they said was that he was. It looked like he had been there for days, but he was only missing for 72 hours. And in 72 hours, how can your body be a quarter way already decomposed? The only way that can happen is if there's no blood in it.
Hmm. Now, the top two predators both can do this. The Bigfoots and their hybrids, and the giant spiders can do this. As far as draining the blood, that's what they crave, and they work together. So I also heard some other things, but Malcolm said I'll let him tell that part about it, but because like you, I don't want to guess or anything. I want to hear what you found and everything.
Yeah, I mean, this is
And
what I was
that's
this is what I was told by by some of the rescue, and some of the people that I know that can't give out that information to the public.
mm. And those were like search and rescue, or was this like law enforcement, or
Well,
uh,
they are part of the law. They are part of the law enforcement, but they are on the search and rescue team.
okay. Um, and he was found a mile and a half from. Now, were they the same group, or was it two separate incidents?
This was two separate incidents.
Okay.
They 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 were looking for the girl because she had been missing for 5 days.
Oh, okay.
He was she was out 2.5 miles past where that the actual trailhead, the trailhead ends. She could, she couldn't, you know, couldn't figure out where she was at, where she had been. All she know, all she can remember is something heavy that hit her in the back of the head, and that was it. And she said that the sounds that she heard and everything scared the living hell out of her.
Um, can we get in to see this person? Can we get in to see this female?
Not that, not that I know of right now. I know they're still doing preliminary on her, trying to figure out, trying to figure out where her story is, what happened. Um, I'm supposed to be hearing I'm supposed to be hearing something back possibly Tuesday to, kind of find out and see, see if there's more that I can, more information I can get. But as of right now, it's pretty much kind of like hush hush, don't say anything. I'm like, okay, we can do that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because like I said, I went out to where that, I went out to where that they were found, and yeah, there was lots of tree scrapes, a lot of drag marks, and so yeah, it was really intense.
And this happened both at Keystone.
There, the on on either side of Keystone, you got a road that goes up by the Keystone Dam, and then on the other side, you got the camping areas and trails that go up in there. And they found the guy on the other side, on the other side, a mile and a half down. They found the woman 2.5 miles on the other side of where the trails were at, way on down, going like, I mean, it's like really strange, weird, because I mean, there, where they found her, there was no animal trails. There was no there. I mean, they actually had to take machetes and hack their way in to the brush to where she was at. And it was, like I said, you would have to been there to really get the whole gist of it. I kind of looked at it and I kind of started stepping back a little bit. I'm going like, yeah, no, this is not a good this is not a good area. They're like, oh, it's just another 15, 20. I'm like, no, I'm good. Stop right
Hmm.
here, put this thing in reverse, get me out of here.
Yep.
No,
Don't need more people missing.
right. Because like I
Uh,
said, that I mean, that was fresh, and that when it's something like that, it's like, nope, I got to go. Bye.
mhm. Me too. I'm not walking in traps. Um, the reason uh the reason I was asking if we could get in and see this person is because we know what's out there.
Yeah,
We would understand what she's saying,
yeah,
but other
and
people
that's
won't
what
know.
I asked, I asked them. I said I would like to, like to talk to her, and they're like, well, we'd have to get permission from her family, and I told them, I said, that's fine. I said, just even a 5 minute conversation. I said, because I know what she went through. And I said, this is not my first time encountering people that's been attacked by a Bigfoot. And they said that she was, really, like high alert. Anybody try to get within like 10 feet from her, and she would jump back on the bed to almost falling off of the bed. Yeah, she's been really traumatized.
Yeah, we would be the only people who would understand.
Yeah,
These other people who don't know what's
yeah,
out there.
because some of the questions I asked her, are you sure it wasn't a bear? Or are you sure it wasn't a mountain lion that got a hold of you? And we're like, and I'm thinking to myself, no.
But they know that
And
there's been missing people
yes, but
from.
they won't tell them it's a Bigfoot. They won't tell them this is what attacked you, because it's still kind of one of those hush hush things, because the government don't want people to know. The government wants to put a hush on that, and I'm like, no, I know better.
And you said they want to put more cameras up. Is that still at Keystone in that area, the same area you're talking about, where all this
They're
happened?
they're wanting to put more cameras up around in that area, because they have so many campers, families, pets, and they want to try to. I'm guessing they want to try to put it on film or catch it. I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, that's what they were saying, that they were putting more eyes up, which is cameras, to keep a better watch on the people that are coming and going.
Hmm.
And I'm like, uh-huh, I know better.
What kind of groups were scared out? Was that like
They
uh
this was like family groups. I mean, they were there. They have like the little fire, like a little fire ring that they set around, kind of, like a little gathering place. And they said they heard very high pitched noises that gave them headaches. Well, we know exactly what that is.
mhm.
And they were hearing low growls that they couldn't identify. And I'm like, well, we know what that is too.
Yeah. So you gave them your contact information. Was that for um training for search and rescue to train them to be better
Train them to kind of show them
to,
to
to
what they're not looking at, because they're just, I mean, they're just stepping in there like willy nilly, like, hey, we own this place, and there ain't nothing here there ain't nothing out here going to hurt us. Well, it's kind of hard for you to walk into a place like that when your gun is holstered. You got a 12 gauge slung on your back, and you got both your hands up here into your face, going, "Hey, can you hear me?" That that's going, look, free dinner. That's an invite. Come get me.
yeah.
And then especially when you're wearing like steel toe boots and going out there and stomping all in the leaves, and the down trees and everything else. And it's like, you know, they don't even stop. They'll go like 20, 30 yards, yell again, but their feet are walking, and they're not listening. They're not listening for a murmur, or, you know, a a return voice or anything. They're I mean, excuse the pun. It's like sending a 5-year-old out to go find an adult. And 5-year-old screaming, "Mom, Dad, where are you? Mom, Dad, where are you?" over and over. That's the kind of training that they know that they do. And I'm like, you don't do that. The way I was taught is, you step uh, you step about 5 steps, stop, listen. If you don't hear anything, then then you sound off. You wait for 2 to 3 minutes for anything to return, because you also got to understand, an echo, you know, a person could be 200-300 yards away, but that echo could take up to anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes to get to your ears. And that's what a lot of people, they don't do. you know, you get 3 or 4 or 5 people in a group, and all of them yelling the same person's name over and over and over and over again, and all you're getting is the echo from somebody else's voice. And, "Oh, I hear them. Oh, they're over here." It's a false call. And that's why a lot of people don't get found, is because you're hearing somebody else's voice and you're thinking it's the person you're looking for.
The search and rescue who found, or was it search and rescue who found both of them, or did one of them just come out of the woods, or
Well, she
how
could,
how are
she had,
they found?
she had made it to the road, and a vehicle passed by, found her, but him, search and rescue, found him with cadaver dogs. And I'm like, yeah, that's not good.
So the driver was in the park also, and they found her
Well,
about two and a half miles from her location.
yeah,
On the road, was she getting on the road? Did she find the road, or
well, there's roads in and out through
okay?
there. And she, from all they told me is that she found her way to a road. One of the people coming in and going out seen her, and they got her immediate medical attention.
Uh, do you know what kind of medical attention? Was it a
They
clinic or a hospital, or
they didn't they did they didn't really go into detail with that. That's I'm waiting for Tuesday for them to, for me to see about getting some more information, because they were kind of like hush hush on a lot of details, which I kind of had to fill in some of the details myself, because they were like, "Well, it's still under investigation. We're not, we're not giving this out to the public." Well, there's a lot of people that come up missing that they don't give the information out to the public at all,
yes, yes, yes.
because they'll say, "Oh, it was an unexplained death," or it was a bear attack, or a cougar attack, or a pack of wolves, or pack of coyotes. They don't hunt that way.
Yeah.
They don't hunt that way. A cougar or a mountain lion, they will, you know, they will eat the blood with the meat. They don't drain the body of blood.
Hmm.
A bear will eat enough until it's full, but they eat the meat with the blood. So does the coyotes. So does the wolves. The only predator that doesn't, that really doesn't eat the blood and meet together Bigfoot.
Yeah. And spiders, giant spiders.
Yep.
And you'll also find that at the Skinwalker Ranch. A lot of people get drained of blood.
Yes.
Um, when can the search and rescue? When can these groups begin training? And of course, I have that tracker school camp, and I have it every solstice and every equinox. And I
Yeah.
train that for a whole year. I mean, a whole month, and they get all this same training, except we'll be out in the field and training and tracking
Right.
and
Well, that's also what I'm waiting on for Tuesday for them, for them to get a hold of me again, so that we can kind of find out and see, you know, see what they want to do, what kind of budget they have to see about getting better trained. Because that's what one of the guys was saying, is that he would have to go back to his commander and talk to the commander about it, to see about getting and see about funding for them to do this. Because he told me, he said I've never, he goes, I've never seen anybody that can even be on a can even be on one of these yard mules out here like this, and still see and watch. And he said, you're not even out here really walking, and you're seeing 10 times more than I've seen, and I've been doing this for the last 15 years.
mm,
And I told him, I said, yeah, but it also takes a trained person to see the things that you see with your normal eye, and accept what you see, instead of letting your brain tell you that it's something else. You see in
hmm
that shadow, oh, it was a limb moving. No. What did your eye see first? Believe what your eyes see, not what your brain tells it that it's seen.
yeah, yeah.
Because your eyes see more of the picture than your brain processes. So a lot of times, like I tell people, what you just seen, close your mind and look through your eyes again, and really see what you just seen. And they're like, oh yeah, well, yeah, now I see where that rabbit was at that just hopped away. Oh, I seen where that bird was on the limb over there, that that it was just a blur. Yeah, that's going beyond your normal training, your normal brain process. Because your brain process wants to see things and delete them as quickly as possible. You can't do that. You have to take all the images in and not be afraid of it, especially when you are a warrior. Because when you're a warrior, you're not even afraid of death. Because when a warrior goes out, they know they know that when they fight all the way, and if their life is taken in that battle, they know that they've done everything they can to protect everybody else. And that's one thing that that Jerry's training everybody on now, is how to put your mind and your body in that position, in that category of a warrior. Because what you're doing is you're not only protecting yourself, but you're protecting the ones that you love. You're protecting the people around you, your neighbors, your community. And the more we protect, the more that we can save.
Did they mention anything about tracks or
No,
sounds?
well,
They were pretty.
that's what they were saying, that the people down, down in the camp, that they were hearing, that they were hearing sounds and tracks. No, they were walking right. They were walking right in the tracks,
Hmm.
because they had their eyes focused straight out and looking around. They weren't looking down. They weren't looking up in the trees. They were looking eye level straight out and looking around.
Mm.
And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. The first thing we do is we look at the ground 15, 20 yards out. We back up, look up in the trees, look around 15, 20 yards, and then take that 10, 15 yards in and repeat. That's the way I was taught how to do that. You don't go, you don't just put your backpack on, put a gun on, and just start walking through the woods. You don't do that. You look around to see the evidence that's left, the prints, the trees that are bent over. You're looking for every clue that you can see, and every hidden trail that other people can't see. That's the training that I've had, is look around, observe what's around you before you even take two steps, before you even put a step out there and step on that leaf or blade of grass. Because if you don't read what's in front of you and around you, how do you know that how do you know that you're not next?
Um, these campsites, were they around water also, or
Yeah, it's right there by the dam.
okay, okay. The I just wish people knew what we know and knew what to look for.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is you know they don't want everything known out there. What we know is kind of like taboo. Oh, no, 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 no. That's not right. Oh, no, 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 no. You're not telling everybody the right thing. Well, that's the problem. Is we're telling everybody what the right thing is, and these other people are giving them false information. This is not like Harry and the Hendersons. Harry don't come up there and pat you on the head and tell you that he's your buddy, and that you could bring him home and let him live with you. No, because it's not just one Harry out there. They're you just in Oklahoma, alone, you're probably looking between 20, 30,000. So if you're looking at 20, 30,000 in one state, think about what's in the rest of the states. I mean, that's quite a bit. So that's the thing. That's the thing, is we don't really know you know their reproductive cycle. We don't know if they have one child a year, two, four, eight. We really don't know.
No, they'll always have twins and things like that because it's like an animal cycle.
Right.
So
But
like
we don't know
deer.
how many. But we don't know how many
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
that they're having in that cycle, because I mean, is it kind of like like a herd of deer? You got one male and 10, 15 females, or is it you got 10 males and 20 females? We don't know that. We don't know how many offspring they're having per year.
um. So two things we need to look at because Malcolm's not here. I was hoping he would be in here tonight because he has a little bit also some other information, but it still pertains to this. And then there was a guy that he might be able to get to speak with us also. I think I'm not sure if he's an eyewitness or something like that, but he had some information to share. Um, and I think he had like a podcast or something that says Bigfoot attacks a car or something like that. But um, he's found some interesting things. So I want all of y'all to put it all together from
Yeah,
y'all's information because I don't have that information. And also, if you can keep up with the woman and see if we can get in to talk to her because we know different things and we think differently and we would understand what she's talking
yeah,
about and we could help her through a lot. Um, a flyer for the next winter camp for the training camp won't be up until after October 1st. So that'll be up on October 2nd, be the earliest for that. But if they need training before that, which I think they should, then maybe
yeah,
we could all work something out for like during the weekdays or something to maybe come up and do some training with them, or they could come down here do some training here in the woods here and things like that. Um, but you are the lead on that because you're the ones who brought this topic up, and so you have all that information. So if
yeah,
you'll stay with that, then like tomorrow, hopefully Malcolm will be here again, and maybe we can get the other guy in here also, and we'll do a recap, and then we'll add more information and see if we can't help this person with what she's going through because it can be a traumatic thing, especially if you don't know these things are out there and the mind game that can be played with the terror of seeing flashes and blurs and things like that in the night, being alone out there. Um, but if we can, we need to document this also. So if you still have film equipment and because mine, I have my camera, but my cell phone, they're all used up as far as video. But we do need to document all this and all this information. Like with this stream, we need to document this stream somehow, download it or something, because it is information about a recent missing person, and we just got out of the woods ourselves with recent Bigfoot encounters and
yeah.
visuals and videos. So we know all this is happening right now. Um, so since Malcolm's not here, we're not going to be able to get that second part, and the third part we might not be able to get until his friend or the guy he's speaking with comes back. So, Damon, if I could get you back tomorrow, also, I'll get Malcolm. Um, Faith Walker will be back, and hopefully we'll have. I think I can have up to 10 guests, so this will be great for tomorrow. We'll have a big group meeting. The team will be together because he's out right now, and Faith Walker she's out right now. So we'll get everybody together, have like a team meeting, but also all the people with this channel will also get to see what we're doing, what we talk about, and things
Yeah.
that we can help with. And it's not just us going tracking and things like that, but we can share with spiritual things because we know things that other people don't. So
Yeah.
I'll get you back here tomorrow. I'll send you another link out. But I do want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Universe, Michelle Ebbs, Joe, Kathy, um, Faith Walker's not here tonight, and there's a couple that's not here tonight. But at least we got to get this information out of missing people and the things that we found, the oddities, the things that are
Yeah.
not supposed to be happening. And I want to thank you for finding that information out and bringing it back
Oh
because
yeah.
now we can move forward and look into all this and see what you could do. And the
Yeah.
more information we know, if they'll let us help this young woman, then we need to do that as soon as possible
Yeah.
because she doesn't need to keep thinking about it. She needs to know what happened.
Yeah.
And
She does. She needs answers.
okay,
She needs answers to her questions.
yes, yes, because no one but us would know those answers. And she's going to be talking to people who's may even want to put her on medication, something. But
Yeah.
she's seen what she's seen, and but we're going to go ahead and close for tonight. And I want to thank you, Damon, for coming in and giving us that information.
Oh,
And
definitely.
oh, and we'll be back tomorrow night. And Damon, we'll get you back tomorrow night. Everybody here, good night. We will have that information for you tomorrow night. More on this missing people's cases. There's two, and we do have one survivor. So we're going to see if we can't help them through this, if at all possible, if we are allowed to help them.
Yeah.
Um, but we will have more information for everyone tomorrow night. These are important things that we need to know about and how we can help other people. So everybody, thank you. Have a great night, Damon. Thank you for everything and all your work and information,
Oh
your
yeah.
knowledge.
Definitely.
And we will see everybody back here tomorrow night at 9:30 with more information on this missing persons uh, oddity case. Um, Want to thank everybody again. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. Damon will be back. Malcolm, Faith Walker. We'll have a full cast tomorrow. I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Have a great night, everybody.
Everybody too. Thank you.